Meteorologist Jamie Warner, certified by Weather8 for the most accurate forecast in the Ozarks.
Well, this is your opportunity to get outside and enjoy some nice weather before it turns ugly again. 48 outside right now as the sun has set, but we still got some daylight out there as the days are getting longer. Big picture view. Things are quiet locally. Storms starting to come together off to the west, so we've got a couple of different centers of stormy weather. One located here in the Dakotas, another one located here in Wyoming and Colorado. These are going to sort of pinwheel around each other and then eventually lead to an upper level storm, which will make its way across Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Mississippi. And it looks like it'll be a favorable track to turn rain over to snow Wednesday night. So let's go ahead and get into that forecast. And for tonight, really not expecting a whole lot of weather excitement. We'll find generally partly starry skies. Clouds are going to quickly thicken up, though, shortly after sunrise. Back here along I-49, we'll have rain breaking out across southeast Kansas and in northeast Oklahoma. But the rain is going to have a tough time getting too far east too quickly. We're going to have some drier air in place here over eastern counties, so it looks like it'll turn wet over southwest Missouri and northwest Arkansas, and this is going to be a cold rain. We're talking temperatures in the upper 30s and low 40s. Meanwhile, areas out to the east, where we have at least a little hints of sunshine through the clouds, will manage to warm into the upper 40s. So we're going to have a lot of contrast across the area on Wednesday. Overnight tonight, again, partly starry. Most locations staying above freezing. Looks like a low of 35 tonight here in Springfield. Temperatures tomorrow really reflecting where we have the thicker cloud cover and rain. Looks like a colder day here west of Highway 65, where it looks like low to mid 40s for highs. East of Highway 65, though, things kind of open up a little bit more, and we should see afternoon temperatures in the upper 40s to possibly near 50 degrees. It's also going to be very breezy. I think winds are going to be out of the southeast about 10 to 20 miles per hour. So, you know, when you factor that in with the chilly temperatures and the wet conditions, especially over western Missouri and northwest Arkansas, not a good afternoon to be outside. Now, getting into the interesting part of the forecast, it's what happens Wednesday night. Because as that storm continues to develop, temperatures higher up in the atmosphere are going to get colder and colder and become supportive of snowfall. We'll also be watching those surface temperatures, because you may have cold enough temperatures for snowfall above the surface, but at the surface it may be a little too warm. And I think that's going to be the case going into the evening Wednesday night. But long about mid-evening, as temperatures start to fall through the mid-30s, that's when we should start seeing a changeover to wet snowfall, especially in the higher elevation areas. Once we get past 9 o'clock, you'll see how these areas of snow just sort of blossom, especially over southwest Missouri and northwest Arkansas. That's 7 o'clock Thursday morning. Temperatures near freezing. And then as we work through the day on Thursday, the snow should gradually shut down. And I think this model's having a tough time demonstrating snow versus rain. I think a lot of this is going to be light snow through the morning hours, tapering off as we get into the afternoon. And notice how temperatures really don't warm much. It looks like we're looking at highs on Thursday, generally in the low to mid 30s across the area. As far as snowfall, this is, again, like we often see with these winter weather situations, a very, very tough forecast, even in this short time frame from when it's going to happen, because the guidance is really kind of all over the map. But the general consensus, and this is what I believe will happen, is that the better snows are going to occur near and south of Highway 60, probably closer to the state line and into northwest and north central areas of Arkansas. That's where I think we have the best chance at maybe seeing several inches of snowfall, possibly as much as 5 inches of snowfall. Further north, along and north of Highway 60 or along Highway 60, I think it's a pretty good bet that we'll see 1, possibly as much as 2 inches. In terms of road impacts, I'm not expecting a whole lot. Maybe early in the day on Thursday, we could have some slushy accumulation on the roads, but once we get further into the morning hours and that sun gets higher up in the sky, I think we're just looking at wet roads, and we stay in a cold pattern through this upcoming weekend. Lots of clouds, lows in the 20s and highs in the 30s.
I'm not going to lie, Heather and I have not seen each other for a long time, so we were sitting here catching up, chit-chatting during weather, and all I heard you say was 5 inches, and I said, what? So, yeah, there you go.
I don't think that's
not Springfield, though.
I don't think that's here in Springfield, but, you know, I mean, I think areas to the south, maybe closer to the state line and into northern Arkansas, could see amounts like that. But even though we're like 24 to 36 hours out, there's still going to be a lot of maneuvering there, getting that forecast closer and closer to what will actually happen.
All right, you'll be up updating us daily. I
See,
know
yes,
it.
indeed.
Well, as deer season winds